What's up, guys? Coach Dylan, CrossFit Mount Lebanon, Just the Tip Tuesday. Clearly, I am not in the gym. I'm actually at my apartment. Today is July 4th, so go America. I am not back at the gym at all. I stayed home for the rest of the day after this morning. Luckily, I have been studying some stuff for a test that I'm going to be taking, and I'm on a section with aerobic capacity. And for me, if you've ever known me, I'm a visual learner, so I'll take different colored notes and all that stuff, and I'll leave things all around so I can see them throughout the day. And I'm a child at heart, so I have a chalkboard wall in my apartment, and I've been using this to study. So if I'll be just hanging out in the living room, I at least have things around me that if my eyes wander, I can sit there and remember things and keep studying. So basically just going to share with you some stuff that I've been studying on aerobic capacity, like lactate threshold and target heart rate zones for training and everything like that. So Karvonen method up here, which is basically something you can use to find your own heart rate sections. So you can take a low end, you can take a high end, basically to improve over time your aerobic capacity. And it's based off of your age and your resting heart rate, beats per minute, all that stuff. So here's what it is. It's up here. And I use myself as a subject and an example. So you just need your age, and then you need to check for your resting heart rate. So if you just want to rest for a minute, check it, and then you can use that. If you have a heart rate monitor, that's probably a little bit easier. And then you can plug these formulas. So APMHR is your age predicted max heart rate. So you take 220 beats per minute minus your age. So I took 220 minus 26. I'm 26 years old, and that gives me 194 beats per minute. Okay, and then you want to find your heart rate reserve. So from that 194, I'm going to subtract my resting heart rate, so 66 from 194, and that gives me 128 beats per minute. So if I want to find my low end threshold, which would still, as I'm training, should be a moderately comfortable pace. I'm at a conversational pace. If someone's next to me, I should be able to figure out a way to continually talk and not be too fatigued. I took 70%. Usually it'll be between 60 and 70% per individual, so took the higher end of that, 70%. So you take your 128, which was my heart rate reserve number. So your heart rate reserve number, mine was 128, and I multiply that by 70%, so 0.70, and then you have to add back your resting heart rate, which mine was 66, so that gives me 155.6 beats per minute, so 156 for easy math beats per minute is my lower end. And then if I want to take my higher end before I start putting all that lactate into my body, lactic acid, and I feel all that burning, I want to stay between these levels, so I take that same 128 and now I multiply it by 0.85, that 85%, my higher end, and then I add it back in. That's 66 for my resting heart rate, and that gives me a higher end of 174.8 beats per minute, 175. So I have my two zones, my low and my high, and as I'm doing workouts, basically making sure that my levels are staying between those, so over time I can increase my aerobic capacity and feel better through these workouts. This probably can be more beneficial for me later on when I can test and retest and see how far I've come. That's going to take me a couple months. I'm already prepared for that. But if you find these training zones for yourself and you can buy a heart rate monitor, or I've seen a lot of cyclists have some sort of watch with it, you can also check on those as your training goes. But if you wanted a simple way to do it, just stop for 10 seconds, check your heart rate for that 10 seconds, and then multiply that by 6. So that'll be an easier way to do that if you don't have that heart rate monitor or you don't have a way to check that. You can always do old school method, just check your heart rate by your pulse. So if you were looking for some info on aerobic capacity, this is where I was at today. This is what I had to basically show. So thank you for this. Just Tip Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope it helps.